Hello my friends, happy Monday. You are having a fantastic week and so am I because we go to Ukraine and the first news I see when I come back to work today is Russian corvette, a ship of the Black Sea Fleet, has been destroyed by Ukrainians. Now it's not every day you see Russian ships destroyed, or should I say turned into submarines. They all want to join Moscow, the leading ship of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, which was turned into a magnificent submarine last year. This attack was so big it was not possible to ignore because, as you can see from these footages, videos about it are all over the internet. Russian Ministry of Defense could not ignore it, so they decided to actually admit it and say, yes, we did lose a ship. It is confirmed by both sides. And from the Ukrainian side, the commander of the Armed Forces of Ukrainian Air Force, Nikolai Oleshuk, reported that this ship was struck. Why Air Force? Well, because the ship was struck with possibly Storm Shadow, which has to be shot from Ukrainian planes. This is why the Air Force commander confirms this attack. But since losing a ship is such a big deal, I really wanna make a reenactment for you how this information goes upstairs in the Black Sea Fleet. The Russian ship was from a Karakurt class and it was called Askold. Oi, блядь, today we lose Askold ship. I don't know what to tell commander. I know. I tell him we don't lose ship, but we gain submarine. We turn Askold into submarine to defend against Ukrainian attack. Ivan, give me sit rep of today. Так точно, командир. No bad news today, only good news. Foot soldier Ivan actually give one more submarine to Russian Black Sea Fleet. Is called Askold submarine and it protects against Ukrainian boats. I did this. Another submarine, Ivan. Молодец, блядь. You will get medal for bravery and intelligence. Пошел нахуй. See, for the Russians, these ships are never destroyed. They're always turned into submarines, adding yet again to the Russian submarine fleet. Here, my friends, you can see the first satellite image taken after the destruction of the ship. Reportedly, it got hit 1 to 3 times, and if we're talking about Storm Shadow or Scarp missiles, 1 to 3 times is 1 to 3 times enough. I mean, 1 to 3 times too much, because 1 time is enough. It is right here, possibly slowly sinking on this photo already. This is one of the newest additions into the Russian Black Sea Fleet because it was only commissioned in 2021 and the building of this ship started in 2016, so it took 5 years to build this vessel. It was commissioned in 2021, but the building still continued because it wasn't finished. So it's one of the very newest and most modern ships of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. And now it's one of the very newest submarines of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. It was able to carry up to 8 caliber cruise missiles or Onyx missiles, and it was defended with Panzer S-M anti-air defense system, which was on board. So it had very modern weaponry and a very modern anti-air defense system, which did nothing to help it against being turned into a submarine by Ukrainian missiles. Well, they at least tried, because on this footage you can see Russian air defense active. This was shot from both the ship itself and from the land, but none of the cruise missiles, Storm Shadow missiles, were shot down, because up until this point we still don't have not even one instance where the Russians have been able to shoot down Storm Shadow missiles or Attack-Em missiles. By all accounts, Russians cannot shoot them down. And to give you a little more information about this Karakurt class corvette, so we know more detailedly what asset did Russia lose. The Karakurt class Russian designation project 22800 Karakurt is a new class of Russian corvette, small missile ship in Russian classification, which have been entering service with the Russian Navy since 2018. So very new, the newest of the new. The class is intended as a more seaworthy blue water complement to the Buryan M-class corvette designed for the littoral zone and which, as of 2015, serve in the Russian Caspian Fleet and Baltic Fleet and the Black Sea Fleet. And the cost of Russian lost ship is about 35 million USD. Expensive loss. Talking about Russian ship losses, these are the places where all of the Russian ship losses have taken place in Russo-Ukrainian war. Of course, this is the sinking of the Moskva. We all remember it, and I remember reporting on it. There were some footage about it. It was a proud moment for me. Then there's the port of Sevastopol, of course. Then there's the port of Kerch. Then there's the Berdiansk port of the Azov Sea. And then there's the port of Novorossiysk, where a Russian submarine was recently destroyed. So usually these corvettes or Moskva was turned into submarines. But if Ukrainians destroy a Russian submarine, is that turned again into a corvette or a surface vessel? I don't think so. I think it's gone to sleep with the fishes. We have Saratov, Moskva, we have Vasil Bek, Ivan Golubets, Yuri Ivanov. All of these ships, Rostov-on-Don submarine destroyed by Storm Shadow missile at Sevastopol. All of these other ships were turned into submarines, and this Rostov-on-Don submarine was turned into, I don't know, ocean floor decoration. And since we are on the topic of Russian losses, I present to you Russian losses of the past 24 hours, 6th of November 2023. And immediately what we see, 880 KIA, personnel knocked out cold, sent to sleep with the fishes, sent to push up daisies. That is very, very high number. Later in this video, we'll see some videos of Russian offensive operations to Avdiivka that happened yesterday with insane losses. 4 tanks, 5 armored personnel vehicles, 14 artillery systems, and 14 vehicles and fuel tanks. Where we are, my friends, of course, you know Avdiivka, and to the north of Avdiivka we have Krasnogorivka. As you can see, Russians have advanced a little bit, 1 kilometer with 1 month here with insane losses. And yesterday, a huge push. Armored vehicles and infantry happened. Let's see the footage. So all of this footage, it's a huge column of Russian infantry, and they had armored vehicles. But what happened to them? Well, what always happens to armored vehicles? Knocked out cold. So the infantry dismounted, and they are continuing their assault by foot. And it doesn't really go that well because it's a long column of infantry. So the guys in the back don't know what's happening to the guys in the front because it's Russia, they don't communicate. But you can know what's happening by seeing who comes back from the front. Let's see who comes back. And bada boom, we see guys running back already carrying the wounded. So the first ones are out and the back ones are going in. This is how you keep the meat grinder going. This is the Russian style warfare. Wounded are being carried back. They have a little meeting of what to do. Commandeer, armored personnel vehicle destroyed. What we do? And Commandeer says, Пошел нахуй, Ivan. Go attack. And this is how it is. And these guys actually go and attack. And we can later see what happens to them. It's not good. So on this footage, it's the very same column and it's the very same road that Russia has been using for offensive operations for 1 month. And they haven't been able to break through. Ukrainians keep pounding them and breaking up their convoys. And the same happened to this one. I cannot show you anymore, unfortunately, but you know what this is. It's a present from the Ukrainians. Yellow and blue, Slava Ukraini. These Russians will have a taste of Ukrainian land. My friends, 2 days ago, I was invited with some other anonymous people from Estonia who work for Estonian and Ukrainian security. We were all invited to the residence of the United States ambassador to Estonia, George Kent. Here's the photo of it. And if you want to see what I do in my free time and who are the people I talk to, for example, George Kent, then my Instagram is the best way to go and follow because all of the photos will be uploaded there. We talked about Ukrainian victory, Estonian security, and the dismantling of the Russian colonizing empire. My friends, winter is coming and we all remember the winter in this war of 2022. Russia heavily targeted Ukrainian civil infrastructure of making electricity, warm water, hospitals. Well now, Ukrainian representative of the Ukrainian army with the rank of Brigadier General officially reported that Ukraine is preparing a large-scale drone operation on Russian soil with Ukrainian-made kamikaze drones at the offset of winter. Possibly this is to counterbalance the Russian reports that Russians are again starting to target Ukrainian electrical infrastructure. Well, now the Ukrainians have a countermeasure to it. They can do the same for the Russians. So it's going to be a tough winter for Ukrainians and for the Russians. Russian cities now are also targets. Here, my friends, we have a video translated by Dimitris of a Russian POW taken in Ukraine and interrogated, and what he says really surprises me and astounds me, because this guy has no idea where he is and how he got there. I guess he was drunk the whole way. Where are you from? Moscow Oblasts. How did you end up here? Here, I signed a contract. Do you know where are you? No idea. The guy doesn't know where. I guess he signed a piece of paper, got to the Russian Ministry of Defense bus, whichever, or a truck, opened his vodka bottle, and woke up in Ukraine. Ruski mir, my friends. They brought us here, dropped us off, didn't say, why did you come here, huh? What's the purpose of your visit? Well, I signed a contract to defend the country. Defend from whom? With whoever we're fighting with. I don't know. Who is your country fighting against now? I don't know, perhaps Ukraine. The guy doesn't even know. He signed a contract, signed away his life. He's one of the lucky ones to be captured by Ukrainians, because now he's a POW and he will be fed properly. He will have warm clothes and he can actually work. But most of them are not that lucky. Do you know where are you? Where? Ukraine. And now this guy, this is the moment he knew. He screwed up. Gives you an idea of how Russian Ministry of Defense gets the cannon fodder to Ukraine. They sign a contract. I guess they will be given vodka and they will be put on buses. They will have fun and drink for a week, transported to the front lines, there to soak up Ukrainian ammunition, nothing more. That's the goal of their existence in Russia as a country. My friends, I have reported many times about the fake Putins and body doubles, and the Japanese study that actually confirmed with AI research that Putin has at least 2 body doubles. Well, in this video, a child asks Putin, "Are you Putin?" And his answer is, I think if he wouldn't be a Putin's body double, he would be executed for this, but they cannot execute Putin's body double because they need him. But look at his answer, my friends. Thank you. Yeah, Putin is hugging a child, da-da-da, yada-yada. And now, are you Putin? The child asks. Yes, yes, for now I am. For now I am. What the hell? Vladimir Vladimirovich, goodbye. So the honest answer is out there. I'm just a body double, but for now, I am Putin. He confirms it. And everybody's laughing because in Russia, you just laugh and try not to look suspicious. If you don't have wings, you don't want to fly out of the window. My friends, now I have to address something that the Western media is doing for clicks, and it is only benefiting the Russian narrative. It is the Western media, the mainstream media, who is reporting big time, like the Western countries and NATO, United States and the EU would be forcing Ukraine into peace negotiations. In fact, if any of the readers would follow any official sources of Zelensky or Biden or Ursula von der Leyen, they would know that this is all a Russian information campaign against Ukraine. For some reason, the Western media is jumping on this. I'm here to give you the official information. Zelensky has confirmed it, Biden has confirmed it, and Ursula von der Leyen from the EU has confirmed it, that the NATO, the West, the EU, and the United States are not pressuring Ukraine into any peace negotiations. And the goals for peace in Ukraine remain the same. The liberation of all Ukrainian territory to the borders of 1991. This is agreed by the EU and by the United States. Anything else that the Western media reports is for clicks, for hype, and unfortunately it benefits the Russian propaganda machine. So be aware of what you read. And to elaborate on that, the United States actually just announced a new aid package to Ukraine, 425 million USD, which includes additional ammunition for NASAMS and HIMARS, 155 and 105 millimeter artillery shells, TOW anti-tank missile, Javelin and AT-4 anti-tank systems. And to even elaborate more on how the support will continue, because there is a lot of talk of war fatigue, which is real, and there's a lot of talk of how the West cannot support Ukraine anymore. Well, The EU has actually surpassed the United States in support given to Ukraine and in support planned to be given to Ukraine. The EU has now sent more than double the amount of what US has sent. And EU has long-term plans already signed into effect for supporting of Ukraine up until 2027. We're talking about a 5-year plan almost. Over the summer, the European Union has sent a clear signal by announcing a new 50 billion multi-year support package to be delivered between 2023 and 2027, which doubles total EU commitments. The EU's Ukraine facility is part of the EU's budget plans until 2027, showing a lasting commitment to support Ukraine. All of the Western media talk about war fatigue and Western countries halting support to Ukraine is unfortunately the work of the Russian propaganda machine. And I have to say, as bad as Russians are in fighting, their propaganda is pretty good. Their information warfare is okay. I advise you to actually follow the official channels. If you see any information about Zelensky or Biden, actually go to their official channels to see if they confirm it. Yesterday, the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, visited Kiev and Zelensky, and they talked about Ukraine's accession into the EU. So EU has committed into the long-term support of Ukraine. Now, since Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is considering of holding presidential elections in March of 2024. This is reported by Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dimitris. Now, if there is war going on, it's not a good idea to change presidents, but Zelensky being a representative of a democratic country, and of course one presidential election was already postponed, but doesn't do it again. This shows that he is a man who respects the law of democracy and the law of court and the law of constitution. If his time is up, he will give the power away. He's not a dictator like Putin. And again, like I saw the essay written by Zaluzhny accepting responsibility for his actions like a man should in a free democratic Western society, I see Zelensky doing the same right now. Presidential elections show that he is everything that Putin is not. He serves the people and the country and respects the democratic law. Now, my friends, my favorite part of the video, which is butchering the Patreon names. If you're part of this channel for a long time, you know that in every video I thank tier 10 or above Patreons and I butcher their names. Let's go. We have Topei Stein. We have CBEE, Kokia Krums, Aurixel, Benjamin Metzger. Thank you to these 5 people for influencing my life, helping me out directly to the better. And if you like my channel, head on to the Patreon, link is in the description below. Until my next update, my friends, which will be tomorrow, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye.